So like y'all thinking that y'all gonna blow up doing stuff, right? But you can't be loyal to nobody. You don't have it in you to be loyal to anybody. So you thinking you gonna blow up, you thinking you gonna blow up and do something, or have this big lifestyle. You gonna become an entrepreneur. You gonna be a CEO of a corporation or whatever the case is. But you haven't necessarily mastered this thing of loyalty and love for people. Like you don't even love yourself. So how can you love someone else, right? Like you straight up just like whenever something happens to you, whenever something go down, you automatically pull your card out and you just like I can't do this. I'm frustrated. I'm gone. Like
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me, not for the time that I spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a
Alrighty,
loser,
ladies
but I
and gentlemen,
broke
welcome back to the
chains.
Dirty Trunk Podcast with an elephant is always welcome. It is me, your boy, Marcus Morton. Always here with me is the Aaron Mack. And we're back in here again on Discord.
absolutely, man.
How's your week been, Mac?
It's been it's been a little hectic, man.
Hmm.
NaNoWriMo is kicking my ass. I'm behind on my word count, but it's all good, man. It's all good. Um, got me a few art pieces in the works right now. Going back to finish one of the landscape drawings that I did, man. But other than that, man, it's been good, man. How about yourself?
Been trying to get back into the swing of like, basically being a schoolboy all over again with these courses. You know, I I'm torn between like, just like writing notes down and like typing my notes. I ain't too big on the digital, aspect of like taking notes. Like it has to be like pen and paper or pencil and paper. It's just it does something different for me. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else is the same way or different. I gotta write it down. It I don't know what
Man, hey, there's only one other person that I know like that, and that's Paris.
it is. Come on.
He always had a notebook. I don't know if anything ever. I don't know if he ever opened it at like whenever he not writing in it, but just to go back and read what he put down. But I don't know. I
True.
missed. I also missed like majority of what you said because you froze on my end. So
Come on.
um, yeah, we just gonna move forward. Uh, ain't no point of repeating it. I guess not.
Lord, Lord. All right. But I think it's all like a mentality thing. People are just like different. Their brains work different. Like we're all, you know, individual people that work in a very unique way. Like everybody has their own unique workings and taking notes, you know, doing things, interacting with people. You got your introverts, your extroverts, your people that kind of fall in the middle sometimes. And it's just like with all these different unique aspects, why can't we all just kind of like coagulate together or like mingle together?
What do you mean?
Like with different mindsets and stuff, it's not like, all right, let me see things through your eyes. It's more of my way is the correct way, and there's nothing else. It's just my way or the highway.
Hmm. I mean, for the most part, that's not how we taught.
Mm.
Like, I don't care how much people like teach you. Like back in the day when we were in school,
Mm.
they used to say that during like the conflict resolution stuff that they teach you when you were a kid. I don't know if they were big on that at your school, but in my school they talked about that conflict resolution and all that other stuff like that. But they tell you like you know, consider the other person's feelings. But when you put that into like a real world application, ain't nobody necessarily doing that.
Conflict. Hmm. I don't think we ever went over something like that in school.
Yeah, I never talked about conflict resolution. It's like what to do when you're upset about something. Count backwards from 10, take a deep breath, or all that other stuff like that.
What? No.
Oh, well, see, that's why everybody in their goddamn feelings all the time. They stopped teaching that shit in schools. Like, that's the problem right there.
Come
Yeah, they were
on.
teaching us that back in elementary school around like
Mm-hmm.
first grade, second grade, bro. Like anytime like you got into it with somebody, they'll be like, well, did you do practice your conflict resolutions before this happened? Like, did you do this before that happened?
What?
And then like they turn around and like the adults, the same adults that's teaching you the conflict
Mm-hmm.
resolution piece, they turn around and do the same shit. And it's like, did you practice your conflict resolution? Like, all right, no. But now, like I see it at work all the time too. Like what you talking about? How people just don't even consider the other person's joint. Like you straight up just like whenever somebody call you and ask you about something that's pertaining to their job, but it like kind of slides over into yours a little bit. You like looking at folks and giving them the stink eye, cussing them out, telling them to stay in their lane and stuff. When all they trying to do is get their job done. Now they mad at you because you mad at them, or they think you mad at them, but in reality you were just mad at the process, and you just trying to get your own process through. But y'all processes they kind of conflict with one another, and now both of y'all mad over something that ain't even got nothing to do with neither one of y'all.
Mm.
Just because y'all got y'all got different styles of doing things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And then that's crazy because like especially in like a job aspect,
If
it's
you can hear
like
me, you froze again.
yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, your face ain't moving though. Okay, there it is.
We good?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
All right. So I think that's pretty interesting because like looking at it from a job aspect, it's like how do you balance uh like following the rules and then like not really following the rules, but like trying to get your job done and then also not step on other people's toes. Like yeah, you're doing all the right things, you know, at work. You're getting the numbers, you're getting the the stuff done, but yet you done crushed like 10 toes on your way to, you know, getting the job done.
All 10 of them, bitch.
All 10.
Um, like, all right, so there's no secret that at our job, bro. I don't know if you ever realized that's literally like my first realization when we sat in the meeting yesterday, and I look around and I'm the only dude at my level there in a room full of people who had issues with one another. I am the only dude there. So with that being said, I have learned that dealing with the people that I work with,
Mm-hmm.
the best way to deal with them is to let them deal with themselves.
Oh.
I don't have conflict with anybody because I don't I don't do what I want to do and then turn around and tell them that they did something wrong. I go and ask usually, and I can separate myself from my emotions because I'm not really that attached to the end result or what they say the end result is.
Mm-hmm.
If that make any sense. So like I've noticed like people will get upset because somebody ain't doing something and they don't even know they're supposed to be doing it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Uh, and that's it's crazy how some people get to a point where uh they do that. Like they don't even think about asking that person for help, or they don't have the respect for that person enough to believe that like they would help them in a crisis. And it's like they haven't done anything to, bring that thought process up, but it's like I've been down so long, like no one's here to help me, everyone's out to get me, and it's just like how did we get here? Like yeah, you might have went through a lot, but like not everybody is, your mom's. Not everybody is, that person that hurt you back then. Not everybody is, you know,
You talking about
harmful like
somebody in
that.
particular right now?
Uh
It sounds familiar.
not really, just like everybody is unique. Everybody has like unique situations, unique upbringings, and it's just like I don't know.
Like it's crazy. Like every time, like you got some people who like they get standoffish and stuff
Mm,
whenever somebody asks them something pertaining to their job.
mm.
It's almost like
They go in attack
when
mode.
this person asked me this, why did they ask me that? What
Mm-hmm.
was the undertone behind that? What do they mean by that? What's gonna happen here? I bet you they talking to such and such. I'm like, all right, this is a problem. This is a problem. Um, people for real, like y'all gotta stop like putting your emotions so like it's so much
Into
emotion going into the
everything.
task at hand. Like, why is there so much emotion happening in your day to day life? Like it's ignorant, bro. Like
Mm.
I've talked about feelings so much this week, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, you'd have thought I was a therapist. I'm talking about feelings on every single day that I'm working. I don't my job ain't to talk about feelings, bro. Like that
Mm-hmm.
like when I go to work at my 9 to 5, my vanilla, I don't supposed to be talking about feelings. Like that's not how that's supposed to work. But for whatever reason, this week alone, I've talked about feelings more this week than I should have been this year.
Mm.
And it's weird, bro. Like I need y'all to take a step back and think about the thing that you're doing. And if that thing don't require feelings, bro, take the feelings out of it, man. It's not even that deep. Like half of y'all putting emotions into something that ain't even that relevant for you to put emotions in. Like, what are you doing that for?
Uh, so that was a thing, right? That me and my significant other used to do. Uh, and it it would upset her because she didn't know the reason behind it. And once we talked through it, it kind of it relieved itself. So, uh, me being the kind-hearted person that I am, if I see you struggling with something, I'm gonna ask, do you need any help? Like,
Yeah.
hey, what are you doing? Can I help out with that? And me asking, what are you doing? She took it in an aspect of, oh, you're trying to belittle me. You're trying to,
Uh.
undermine
Yeah.
what I'm doing over
Yeah.
here. And I'm just like, no, like I'm like genuinely concerned. Like, do you need help
Yeah.
with it? I see the gears turning in there. You know, I see the frustration on your face. Like, do you
Yeah.
need help? Like, what are you doing? Can I help out? And she was like, oh.
So that's normal, is what you're saying. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Got it.
So it's like, you know, sometimes we have to, you know, take a step back and, you know, take yourself out of that situation, that mindset of, you know, of hurt all the time, and like actually look at what people do and have the respect enough to, you know, just think kindly about somebody. You know, not everybody's out to get you. Not everybody's trying to, you know, bust you upside the head. You know, it's
So we're just not trying to work that hard.
right.
It's like shit. If we can fix the problem upstream, we gonna fix the problem upstream. We ain't gonna wait till it blow up.
Right. But
Shit.
it's all a mindset. Like certain people, they have to like feel
Nah,
you
but
out or
for real,
grow with you or something like that.
people do that though,
Yeah.
and everybody has their different way of showing it. But people do that. Like not. I mean, granted, not everybody is as vocal as that.
Mm-hmm.
Cause when Coco feel disrespected, she gonna let you know she feel disrespected, and
Mm-hmm.
it ain't gonna be a direct. I feel like I'm being disrespected, but you gonna feel the burn come off of her after the fact. Like it's gonna get real spicy, and it's happened at work a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to ignore it because I know Coco, and I come back around and be like, hey, you know such and such. She's like, yeah, I know. I was like, all right, we good. She's like, yeah, all right, got you. But other people, they hear that, they like,
Yeah.
I was like, all right, so now we upset again. Good talk, folks. Like for real. Some people they have those tendencies to feel that when other people ask them for help or other people ask to help them or whatever the case is, or
Mm-hmm.
they feel like their territory is stepped on, or like what we need to get to as adults is we need to get to a point where we can actually have these conversations. What are we here to talk about? The elephant in the room.
Mm-hmm.
The elephant in the room. So if you feel some type of way, you don't need to be making speculations about anything. You need to go address the person who you have those concerns with, and then you need to talk to that person. Like we don't need to have all this conversation about who you think doing something, because what you think is 9 times out of 10 is wrong.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know what they say about assuming.
You make an ass to you and me.
Yep. And it's like all we need in that instance is just like uh just like love across the entire board, right? So with love, you have a loyalty and respect, and we're gonna try to deep dive into that. Like from a loyalty aspect, you walk into your job, you walk into your relationship, and you just have this mindset to serve.
Hmm.
You're gonna go in, you gonna, you know, get things done, and you just gonna serve. Like wholeheartedly just serve. No, with no intent of, you know, wanting anything in return, you just serve. And then the respect part, right? There's a respect part in there also. Like when your significant other, your partner, your loved one, your family, when they come in and like you have to respect them enough to, you know, all right, if they need any type of correction, if they need any type of, you know, guidance, you're there for them. If they don't, you know, you take a step back, you let them handle it. You don't try to, you know, micromanage. You don't try to uh, you know, undermine their authority. You just, all right, you're gonna do this. I have respect enough. I have enough love for you that I believe that you got this. You say you're gonna do it, you got this. All right. I'm gonna be your cheerleader in the corner. I got it. You know, D for defense, hooray, let's go. Offense, let's go. Also like uh with loyalty and respect, there comes a mentality of like I don't really know. Like, I know for me that like uh my love for people is if I consider you a loved one, like I go hard for you. Like if you need anything, if I can help with anything in any way, I got you. Some people might be a little different. I don't know, but like I'm here to serve. That's just my personality. I'm a servant. I try to make things better. Try to make things easier. Anything that we can. I ain't gonna say take a shortcut on, but if we could do something easier, that's better. That's more time that we have together.
Yeah, I'm thinking back on like when I was growing up, what the word loyalty meant.
Mm,
When I was like in like running the streets with some of my old homies from back in the
mm,
day,
mm-hmm,
and like loyalty meant we just don't snitch on each other.
mm-hmm,
Loyalty didn't really mean that, whenever something happened, we there's we got somebody back for like I don't know. It was really it was conditional is
mm-hmm.
what I'm trying to say. Like it
Yeah.
won't necessarily like something that was like, all right, so if this happened, I got you. Don't worry about it. Like we good. Blase blase splee. Like it won't none of that. Like it was always like um as long as we are in good standings, I
Mm,
got you, my dude. Like you ain't gotta worry about nothing as long as we in good standings. Like so don't even trip over it. So like I noticed like loyalty only applied to, you know, the time that we spend together.
yep.
But it didn't necessarily apply to to like if my girl was around you and I won't know where to be found, you and the other homies gonna hit on my girl. Like it didn't apply to that. Like, but it applied to just the time that we spent together. And we I'm loyal. Like loyalty wasn't necessarily a word that was even used back then. Like nobody really talked about loyalty in a sense. Like like they never said that. Like they never did that. That's not really a thing. So like I'm sitting here thinking about it, like yo, how like the reason why I'm not really associated with the people that I used to be associated with is because one, they weren't trying to grow.
Mm-hmm,
First of all, two, they weren't loyal. Because all of my friendships from back in the day ended because somebody chose not to be loyal to me, but I
mm,
was supposed to be loyal to them. And then when the other shoe when the tables were turned, that loyalty was only one way.
yep. Uh, and we've all been there. I've been in many situations where like uh the loyalty ended when I wasn't able to uh please that person or do things for
Uh,
them. I like when as soon as the no came out, it was like, oh well, you acting different, or they popping off at me, and I'm just like, but we ain't just because I can't do something for you, or like I want to take this route. I want to actually do something productive instead of claiming we're hanging out when all I'm doing is just driving you around. I don't know where the hanging out part comes in, but
uh,
uh, you know, and it was like there was no respect for my well being at in some of those situations. So can you really call yourself my homeboy? Like how does that work? Like, but it happens. Everyone goes through situations like that. They might be slightly different, but everybody has those people that you grew up with, and they change ever so slightly. They turn into like a Sith Lord, and then they just want to use you to gain power or whatever. But it's crazy how like you said, like you could be loyal to that person. Like and it's not like it's taught in school. It's not like there's a class on it. It's something you just kind of like you pick
It's a
up in the
value that,
field.
yeah, it's a value that, right. I like that. It's a value that's taught in the field by experience
Mm.
alone. Yeah, I love that.
And it's like I feel like that's where we get hung up at because everyone has a different take on it, right? And then when you
Hmm.
get into those, relationships and someone has like a different take on loyalty, it kind of and that other person isn't there to, kind of learn their specific loyalty trait or whatever, they kind of shun it. They just think, like we said before, their way is the highway. And it's like if you're not willing to learn and to teach, the relationship is gonna fail.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you can have someone's loyalty trait be like, all right, I'm gonna be here, but like I'm gonna be here physically, but mentally, I'm gonna check out when things get dicey, get a little sweaty, and then somebody else's might be, I might not be here always physically, but I'm gonna be here mentally. I'm gonna be down for you, 10 toes to the ground. I'm gonna lift you up when you need it, and all this other stuff. But like, if y'all bumping heads, then the person that's gonna check out physically, that mentally person, he's gonna be, or they're gonna be, just thinking of any and everything. Everything is just gonna be running through their mind. Oh, this person doesn't love me. This person is, such and such. But like, that's where respect kind of comes in. Like you got to have that respect aspect to, believe that that person's not gonna walk out on you. That believe that that person is there to,
Oh, that's trust, bro.
well, yeah, trust too,
That's
trust too.
trust. And the problem with that is that, you can be loyal to somebody, or like the people
Mm-hmm.
who are they in these situations because they claiming to be loyal, but they don't really know what loyalty is because they never really had an example of loyalty, and they don't necessarily trust nobody. So
Mm-hmm.
every situation that you find yourself in looks exactly the same because you haven't necessarily switched up the formula yet. And that's why you keep going through these same situations where every time you get upset with somebody, they you peel out
Mm.
before you even fix it. You don't even get to the conflict resolution piece because every single time you start a relationship, you flake out when the problem arises.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you ain't never had examples of how that worked, then it's not like you said. It's something that you learn in the field. It's not taught in schools. You get like a philosophy class at college, and they might go over it a little bit, but you got to actually go to college to do that. So like most people don't necessarily put themselves in situations like even when like it's uncomfortable to even go through all that stuff at the
Yep.
beginning when you don't know what's going on. So like when you get to a point where you're so afraid of being hurt and you don't trust nobody, you get to a point where you're not even gonna even bother when the situation even arises. You're just gonna straight up shun everybody out. You're gonna block. You're gonna put up all kind of walls. It's gonna be like in the Osmosis Jones movie when the body caught a cold, all the white blood cells started going into panic mode. It's like, oh my God, we got this foreign object in here. We gotta get it out. Like it's gonna be like that. Like so. For real, what y'all need to do is, and I'm talking about a few specific people that I'm thinking about in my mind right now, right? What y'all need to do is because whatever ails you, and this is going to go back to whatever happened in your past. You're gonna
Mm-hmm.
have to address it. You're gonna have to address that boy. Like whatever happened, I don't know who did it. I don't know if you need to go back and talk to them or you just need to get some closure from something. But like you're gonna have to go back to whatever made you feel like when somebody do something to you, you can't actually talk to them about what they did. Because you don't need to be in those situations where you're trying to build a business and somebody move left and you trying to move right, and you just automatically assume that they got ill intent just because they went into a different direction than you. What y'all need to do is come meet in the middle, and y'all need to discuss that, and y'all need to have a conversation about that. But what most of y'all are doing is when that person try to go right, and you trying to go left, you like, oh my God, what happened there? I bet they trying to do this. I bet they're talking to such and such. I bet they did this. I bet that's happening. Like, and you won't even know you ain't even had a conversation about what the objective is. So if there's no defined goal, no defined motion that's happening, everybody is going to be going their separate routes. Nobody can read what you're thinking. So you're going to have to address what you're thinking, and that is the only way to resolve a conflict. So some of y'all on this loyalty thing, but y'all not loyal to the right things. You're loyal to you and your own perspective, but you're not loyal to the idea of creating with other people as much as you are loyal to the idea of creating with yourself.
Yeah, yeah, and communication, man. Communication is key because we've had that. We've had the good and the bad side of that. We try to work with people, and we've had someone come in and like, oh well, y'all are only loyal to what y'all got going on. Y'all don't care about anything, anybody else going on. It looks like that there's only uh only room for, what y'all got. And then we've had people that we've worked with that, they
And the
came
essential
in.
star that stand for Aaron.
Huh?
The essential star that stand for Aaron's. Yeah, I got. Yeah, yeah, I remember. I remember.
And then we've had people come in and they kind of just fell right into place. They started a podcast of their own. We were working together pretty well. We've had appearances on theirs, and we've had them appearance on ours, and so forth. It was working well for a good little
Yeah.
minute, and they fell off. But that's neither here nor there. Like it's all it's all about communication. Because even with the people that came in and they meshed well with us, there was a aspect where it seemed that they were drifting or they were going into a different direction, and all it took for us to get back on board was quick, well, just a small conversation of, all right, where's everybody's headspace is,
Yeah.
where do we want to go individually, together, and so forth. And then after that, everything was just like smooth sailing. You know, everybody on the boat has a job to do, have a part to make sure that boat doesn't sink. You got your person at the sails, you got your person at the steering thing, you got your person that drops the anchor and all this other stuff. Uh, it's all about having that trust and that loyalty to work together to achieve a certain goal. Whether you're working with a business partner, working with your significant other, working at a job, you're all working together to get something done for a common goal. you know. But it's like once you get those emotions that you were talking about, when everybody is for themselves, everything is just it's a wreck. It is a dumpster fire. It is ridiculously crazy. Like one small step on someone's toes because they're doing what they're not supposed to. They're just doing their own thing. One small step on somebody's toes, and it's like World War III in there. It's just crazy.
Yeah, that's the part that I don't understand is like somebody doing their job, you doing your job, but y'all jobs kind of connect, but you get mad because they not doing their job perfectly enough to commingle into yours.
Mm. Yeah,
That's the
it's like
part that I'm
once the
trying.
lines
So
cross.
at that point, you're making up stuff. You're making up things like trying to say that coming up with reasoning as to why they aren't why they I don't know why that they're against you or something or that they're trying to sabotage you because they doing their job and they half of the time they're not even thinking about your job. They thinking
Mm.
about theirs.
And what's was interesting, like 9 times out of 10, because they think like that, well, the reason they think like that is because they know that they would do something similar in the other person's position. Like they gotta come up with that idea from somewhere, and usually it's always because they would do that. Like you're not gonna just come out the blue and think like, oh, this person's gonna do X, Y, Z, and you
Yeah,
haven't
I
done X, Y,
mean,
Z yourself. You
I
know.
bet I've met somebody recently who kind of challenged that theory. They think that they are like when they're put in situations, they make sure they take care of everybody, but they just don't believe in their heart of hearts that people are gonna take care of them. So when people doing something that's that's affecting their job, she don't believe that people got good intentions as to why they doing that, why they are sabotaging her job.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of different variations
Yeah.
to that note, and we ain't necessarily got to go there. Um, but what I want to talk about is that I want to go back to the loyalty thing, and we can get back to that. We can get to that meme that you saw. We probably end on that note, but like I want to discuss like these things that we're talking about now is the very reason that people can't succeed in their lives.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like this is simple stuff. This is almost like first grade knowledge right here. Like this is like if you look at everything up until starting your own business and being an entrepreneur as like grade school, like this is like kindergarten or first grade right here. Like this is the first step right here. This is the first step. Like for real. I made the decision to be loyal to Marcus when we first started the podcast on day one. Now, Mark, take me back, right? Take me back, cause like maybe I'm looking at this wrong. This is what episode 162, I believe,
63.
163.
62
All
just
right,
dropped. Yeah.
so so yeah, we've been doing this for a while. Take me back though, because I want people to understand how deep this is. Um, we met through who?
They robbed a mutual coworker.
All right. Um, and if I'm correct, we started this podcast only about 2 to 3 months after that. Correct?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So when we first started this podcast, I ain't really know my man. I ain't really know my man. Like we was like, all right, so we just gonna do this joint. We gonna start it. We gonna see what happens. But I made the decision to be loyal at that moment because we had a shared goal to do something, to be a part of something that's bigger than us. So I made the decision to be loyal at that moment. Some of y'all will never succeed because your loyalty comes with conditions.
Mm.
You're looking, you're putting the L word first, saying that you love somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you love somebody and you're in the relationship, and I don't care whether it's business or personal or work, I don't care where you put it. Like you love somebody first, but while you're in this relationship with this person that you love so much, you are looking for reasons to be disloyal
Mm-hmm.
in the process instead of the other way around. So y'all got the game backwards. You think the love come first. But no, the love doesn't come first. The loyalty comes first. Before I in my relationship with Alyssa, I can't put love before loyalty. It doesn't make sense for you to be in a relationship, say you love somebody first and not be loyal to them. You had to make the decision to be loyal to something first like you had to love after. Like and I know that sounds contradictory, but you love after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
But you be loyal first because now that you loyal, you know you to cut off all your options, all other anything that could possibly come up and oppose what your current situation is. If you're not loyal, then you just gonna go jump to that anyway.
Yeah.
So whether you love or not, if you're not loyal to your cause and what's going on, you can go jump out of that. Like that's almost like somebody telling me like, all right, so here's what we do. Is me and them having a personal conversation at the beginning. And this ain't necessarily happen, but I'm just going to throw out an example. If at the beginning somebody was like, "Yo, for real, I think the Dirty Trump podcast can be fire. All you got to do is, we come and do an episode or two. My man, like, and I look at them and be like, yo, so what about Marcus? And they're like, oh, who? Oh, I'm out. I'm out. I'm like, I'm gone, bro. Like, yo, the Dirty Trump podcast has been this what it is now because of him. Like, it doesn't it can't stray from this right here. Like that's not how this works. We might be able to pass it down to kids someday, like maybe, like but whatever. Like but this right here, this was built with us. So I ain't going nowhere. Like we still do this with no money. Mark, when the last time we got paid off the Dirty Trump podcast?
Ooh,
I'll wait.
I don't know.
I'll
We
wait.
ain't get paid for FNX. We ain't get nothing
Oh
for
yeah,
that.
I mean, yeah, we got a little bit. We got something from that, but we don't personally get paid from the podcast. Like we don't take profit from the podcast. Anything that comes to the podcast goes back into the company. Like
Right.
we don't personally get paid for this. So we do this for free. This is free content. Anybody can pick up any device and go listen to the Dirty Trump podcast.
Mhm.
So what I'm trying to say is that we do this. I personally get up every Thursday morning and do this because I'm loyal to the cause and I'm loyal to my partner.
Mhm.
And some of y'all can't do that. Think about the last time that you were loyal to somebody to a point where that you can inconvenience yourself and say, but it's for a good cause.
Yep.
You're not loyal to your. Go ahead. You got it. You
I
got it.
was gonna say, in those situations, a lot of people they like you said, the loyalty they have conditions. Their loyalty comes with conditions, and they don't even tell the other person about those conditions for them to even try to get that loyalty from that person, and they'll go years, months, just like thinking so negatively about that person, but like you haven't had the respect to tell them that, hey, like what you're doing makes me feel a certain way, or what you're doing is
All
not,
right, there it is.
it's
All
not
right.
adding up.
Yeah, because like I wanted to challenge that for a second because like you said that they don't tell people that their loyalty has conditions, but like what I'm thinking is like it shouldn't have conditions in the first place. Like you can't just be all right. So if they do this, I'm out. Or if they do that, I'm out. Like you're gonna have to tell them like, look, I have a problem with this happening.
Mm-hmm.
So like, can we discuss this? Or like straight up, like most people, they don't talk about that. They don't have those
Not at
conversations.
all.
They just flat out, or no, or they stay. Well, even worse, they do this here. They stay around, but yet they just talk about them behind their back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So like, y'all thinking that y'all gonna blow up doing stuff, right? But you can't be loyal to nobody. You don't have it in you to be loyal to anybody. So you thinking you gonna blow up? You thinking you gonna blow up and do something, or have this big lifestyle? You gonna become an entrepreneur? You gonna be a CEO of a corporation or whatever the case is, but you haven't necessarily mastered this thing of loyalty and love for people. Like you don't even love yourself, so how can you love someone else, right? Like you straight up just like whenever something happens to you, whenever something go down, you automatically pull your card out and you just like I can't do this. I'm frustrated. I'm gone. Like you just automatically disappear from the situation whenever something doesn't go your way, and you're and y'all looking at everybody else like everybody else is the problem, but you haven't been loyal to anything at all in your life.
Mm.
You can't be loyal to nothing. So of course when you come up with a mission, you're not loyal. You can't be loyal to anybody else, so you're not gonna be loyal to the mission, bruh. The mission come first.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Ooh.
The
Yep.
mission comes first. Like, look, what are we doing this for? We doing this to help people like us. And because in the long run, we know that somebody is going to hear this podcast and they're going to be like, oh, so I was going through that. I can relate to all of this that they talking about. That's definitely helping me grow and like financially grow, mentally, like spiritually. Like if we do that, we do this podcast. I don't know about nobody else, but there are some people who just do podcasts just for the hell of doing, just for the sake of doing podcasts. Like there
Mm.
are some
Yep.
people. I see them. It happens. They doing it just so they can they can pay the bills. Like for real. If you want to go listen to one of those, you're gonna hear it. Like once you start listening to it, I'm just letting you know that once you start listening to it, you're gonna start hearing those money calls. And what do I mean by money calls? They'll be asked for money a lot. It's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be like 4 or 5 different sponsors per episode. They got like, when they do the sponsor break during the podcast episode, this episode is brought to you by our sponsor. They do like it's a whole 1 hour podcast. They got like 25 minutes worth of sponsor.
Awesome. Uh-huh.
You gonna hear it when you listen to those. And I don't know that at some point that this podcast won't be the same, but it will always be free.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be free because we are loyal to the message. We are loyal to the cause of giving people who are less fortunate the tools to succeed.
Yeah.
So the mission is that. So nothing that happens around that is like I don't care if me and Marcus have some kind of dispute about something. We had to come back to this because the mission is this. Like this is the mission right here. This
Mm-hmm.
podcast is the mission.
Yep. If we do ever have a dispute, we most definitely gonna bring it here and iron it out. Like this is our outlet to show you guys how to be entrepreneurs, how to work through life, give y'all the principles and the tools, like you said, to make it. Like we're just two guys with a 9 to 5 that's trying to get out that 9 to 5. We're just trying to be better than the people we were yesterday, and we're constantly growing, we're constantly learning. We bump heads, we do whatever, but we have loyalty and love for each other to you know, uh, point those things out when one of us are lacking. We're lifting each other up. We're helping each other out in any way we can. It's it's a it's teamwork. It's teamwork at its finest. And some people they so stuck on self that they don't have the 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 eyewear, the vision to work with people like this. And it's
Yeah,
like if you don't have that vision to get off your own planet to work with others, to network, you ain't gonna get nowhere far.
yeah. And like going back to the loyalty thing, like for real, I'm gonna ask this question because I'm not really sure if you ever wonder like if people would listen to this podcast and know for a fact that like whenever we had a dispute about something when we brought it to the podcast, they just know. I wonder if anybody would actually know if like they heard something. It's like, okay, yeah, they talking about that because they just went through that. Like, I
I
don't know.
think so. I
Anyway,
think so.
because it's not like we actually said it, but um, I'm thinking back at the moment on the people who accuse me of making Ascension Media all about me.
Hmm.
I'm thinking about that right now, and I'm trying to I was trying to come up with a scenario of what went wrong based on that scenario. Like, was it something that I did? Did I say something that sounded wrong? Like, was there ever going to be a resolution to what we were trying to come up with? Like, I was sitting here thinking about that because like I was really like straight up accused of making this all about me, and I'm like, yo, that's kind of crazy. When I was asking everybody for their ideas.
Hmm. Some people they don't work well with others. With that situation in particular, it 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 could have been a number of things, and I don't think any of them would have had solutions. Some people are just they see something, uh, and they completely shut it down. They just like, nope, nope. This ain't what we stand for. This ain't what I'm a part of. This isn't what I believe in. Uh, it wouldn't. I don't think there was any solutions there. Don't even rack your brain over something like that. It won't in the cards. It won't in
Yeah,
the plans, the bigger
yeah.
plan.
I was also thinking about like the shirt situation. If you were like, I would throw like another curveball in this situation
Mm-hmm.
and say that also we gotta speed this up because we are doing a podcast, which is almost like slowed down to a normal conversation. Uh, but thinking back on the shirts and how my man did the shirts, like
Oh, okay,
how how
yeah.
could how could somebody even go in a situation with the mentality of being loyal when they know they cut corners?
Uh,
So
ooh,
you starting off on the wrong foot.
yeah, yeah. I mean, some people are in it for a quick buck. They just trying to get in and then get out. And
Yeah,
we've said this before, like that that's just yeah, that's dealing with someone's character, right? So you could do that. You can go your whole life doing that, but that you're gonna be constantly doing that. You're gonna be constantly going the extra mile to go above and beyond to hook
no,
each and every person, right? You got to have a whole sales pitch and everything. You got to talk a big game and everything. Uh,
I wear the shirt sometimes.
yep. And then you know, on the other side of that, you could actually put in the work, put in the time, and it might just be he wasn't passionate about it. He ain't really seemed too passionate about it, I guess. Uh,
Maybe when he was talking to you, but when I talked to him, my man, he got real hype about that. Oh yeah, man, yeah, like let me tell you about such and such, blah 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 blah. I've been doing this for years. I got this shirt right here. He's like, I made this one up and doing this. I'm like, yo, I got you, my dude. I'm like, all right, so long term. Yeah, man, I got you.
that was the fluff. That was fluff.
Yeah,
But
you must have
yeah,
caught him at a bad time.
speaking of long term, he could have been, you know, and y'all listening, think of the long term. Like, don't just think of like, all right, how many people can I get to be clients to, work with my service or whatever. You know, try to build actual genuine relationships and be that trustworthy person that people can come to, because then you have a lifelong person. Like, no one wants to go through the hassle of learning someone else or uh dealing with someone else when they can go directly to one person for XYZ. uh, and you see it in the black community. There's somebody, usually the same person for everything. Something goes wrong in the house. Oh, let me call such and such. Something wrong with the car. Oh, let me call such and such. Something wrong with you need something done. You need a haircut done in the middle of the night because you forgot to tell your moms or something that you had picture day the next day. Oh, let me call such and such. We're going to his house tonight. There's somebody for everything. And it's like when you build that rapport, you have lifelong customers. You might not hear from them. It might be, time periods where you don't hear from them for a while, but they're thinking about you. They come to you for everything. And then they'll tell, their aunties, their moms, they peoples. They telling everybody. They referring everybody directly to you. That's how you build. Truly, that's how you build. What you call passive income, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's
I
how
mean,
you build
if
your
you don't
wealth.
have to work, if you're not working for it, yeah, that's if they buying your product,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily your service.
No, yeah.
If you got people working for your service and you're getting paid off of the service that they do, then yeah, that's passive income. But not necessarily if you're doing it. Because I do know some people who long term for years, ages,
Mm-hmm.
they have a skill and
Mm-hmm.
everybody needs that skill, but they the ones doing it instead of having, other people work for them and starting the LLC. But that's a idea of not being loyal to your own cause. But it is what it is. We not even gonna go there. That's a whole different type of a ball game there.
Mm-hmm.
So like for real, I wanna break down the shirt situation
Mm-hmm.
for people who not really clicking right now. They're not really getting it. So like, what's loyalty versus trying to get a quick buck? Like even if my man, like for real, there was ways to fix that on his end.
Mm-hmm.
Even if like I made assumptions based off of what I saw,
Mm-hmm.
but that's all I can do when I don't know the person that I'm talking to or doing business with, right? So like, that shirt that you got on right now, how long have you had it? That
Ooh,
joint look kind of old,
yeah, for a good little minute.
a
And
little faded.
maybe when me and Court got together, probably about maybe 4 to 3 years.
So like, I'm just gonna be real with y'all. The shirts that we bought from this kid, they didn't even last one wash in the washer. Not one. Now, here's what I'm gonna throw at you, right? Loyalty is not as black and white as you think it is. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
doing the right thing whenever something go wrong, or you acknowledging everything that go wrong, or loyalty isn't even, because some of y'all think that loyalty is that nothing is going to go wrong, and if somebody's going to be loyal they wouldn't have did a certain thing. No, that's not necessarily true. So like, loyalty would have been, instead of, because when the shirts start falling apart,
Mm-hmm.
I let my man know, and nothing was done about it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely nothing was done about it. I didn't get my money back. I end up having to apologize to the people that I gave the shirts to, because we sold those shirts.
Mm-hmm.
We made money off those shirts, and I felt bad about myself because of his product, right? So here's the deal. Here's what would have fixed that situation. Um, if all my man had to do was say, "Look, I'm trying out something new. I got some stuff going on, but I'm gonna make the shirts for you. I'm experimenting right now. Let's do a few test joints and let's go from there."
Mm-hmm.
All he had to do. Like, he would have made the money in the long run, but up front, he could have been honest and professional about what he going through,
Mm-hmm.
and it would have been good. So like, what some of y'all are doing is you just trying to make that quick buck. But you thinking that eventually if you make enough quick bucks, that you'll have a long-term customer somewhere when you're making those quick bucks. But because you're not necessarily looking at the long term, you make decisions for short term to gain short term money.
Mm.
So you're not necessarily making decisions to make long term money. That if that make any sense. Like, all right, so here's what I'm gonna go with this. Like, there are ways to make shirts last a long time, right? And I've looked up like screen print. I looked at all the different processes because like back when we first started,
Mm.
before we ended up finding our distributor, I looked into all this stuff like the screen printing, the vinyl cutters, and the press joint, the shirt press, and all that other stuff like that. I looked into all that. I know all the different type of machines that you gotta buy to do it, all the different materials that gotta go into it. I learned about all that. So I know the different ways of doing it. I know what lasts long, what don't last long, how to make how to make the even the joint that he gave us, how to
Mm.
make those last long. I've learned all of that. So when if and I kind of feel like if he was just trying to if he was in a position to do something long term, he would have bought long term equipment.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know it back then. I didn't realize it back then. When I saw it, I should have figured it out. But there are some people or some garments that use the same type of material that he had that lasts longer. But his stuff just started peeling off as soon as it came out the bag. Like you folded it in the opposite direction and the vinyl was going the other way. Like he made no attempt to make that long term. He bought no long term equipment. So he was just a dude that had a cricket at the house and just so happened to learn how to use that. And he was like, all right, so me and my girl, we gonna go ahead and press these joints together. We gonna sell these and we gonna make a quick hustle. Here's the problem though. Game no game.
Mm. Mm.
So when you run game on people because you disloyal, they gonna find out.
So, ooh, what you just said, it it actually sparked something for a whole new topic, but we ain't gonna really go into there right there. But uh, we gonna touch on it real quick, like having that long term equipment, having the preparation for the long term. A lot of people don't do that. They can't fathom that. Like when they get in relationships, they just want it to be quick and easy. They just want it to just everything go right. But a relationship is a it's long term. Like there's gonna be ups, downs. It's emotional roller coaster. It's a physically draining thing. It's gonna test your mental. It's gonna test your 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 physical, your faith, your almost everything, your morals.
Yeah.
And if you ain't got that equipment for the long term, ooh, someone's gonna get dragged. Someone somewhere it's gonna burn out. Uh, so you got to prepare for that. Like if and the preparation is it's gonna look like many different things from you know working on yourself, growing with that person, and etc. But we ain't gonna get too much into that. But love, just love people. Like it's so simple to just like be a servant. I mean, also serve yourself. Take care of yourself. Uh, and then be willing to take care of others. And like you can see that your life will change for the better. Uh, be willing to be open minded to things that you don't understand or that you can't think of doing. Everybody's unique. Everybody brings something special to the table, and it's just that's what makes a potluck. Every different types of foods, different types of preparations of said foods. It's all the same ingredients, just used in different ways. That's how life is. That's how everything mesh and coagulates together. That's how you be successful. You take in uh the different type of ingredients, which is your customers, your product, whatever, and you put your own twist to it. You put your own passion to it, and then it produces something unique, your own little unique whatever service, product, whatever. That's how things are done.
Yeah, how long we been on here, bro?
Hour and 4 minutes. Hour and 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
We,
All
we
right.
can start wrapping that up.
All right. I ain't got nothing else, man.
Alrighty. What we got coming up for the people?
Um, for everybody who comic book nerds and love a good sci-fi, head over to the Aether Universe podcast that releases every Thursday. We have a lot of different activities going on. This week's episode, hmm, well, I can't say this week's episode because that's last week, but we did a special episode for the Black Panther 2 movie that came out. So go ahead and check that out. If you haven't seen Black Panther 2, go ahead and see that. But at this point, by the time you listen to this, we had already gone to see it. It had already dropped. And this week, man, I'm looking to get some word count in for Nano. So by the time that the new game come out on the 18th, man, I can go ahead and set some time aside to actually enjoy myself and just relax for a moment, man. Because I've been pushing hard for the last few months now, man. It's I'm burning out.
But it's all towards good cause.
Yeah, yeah.
Over here about not I ain't gonna say doing the same, but over here working on my classes, getting things done, learning a lot. Uh, at some point, um, after each a lesson or whatever, you actually kind of recreate like a game that's already out. It's like done in the lessons or the whatever you call them are done in game titles. So like the first one is gonna be Pong, something very simple. It teaches you like the coding aspect. Um, you put in certain code language, it does XYZ or whatever.
What
Um,
language you using?
hmm,
What language is it?
I think it's C plus plus.
Okay, yeah.
Um, I know those are the preferred. I know a lot of things like C plus plus and Python.
Unless you work for Amazon,
What does Amazon use?
Python.
Ah, I mean that's one of the standards. C plus plus and Python, I think, are the preferred. I think it's JavaScript that's foreign. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, but I don't hear much about Java anymore.
uh, that's about it. Everything at home is going pretty well. Uh, the young one, he is excelling. He loves school. Uh, and
And
this, that,
weird,
and
man.
the third. But alrighty,
A
people.
kid that likes school.
This has been the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. It is me, your boy Marcus Morton. Always here with me is the Aaron Mack. And always remember, those who shy away from addressing the elephant in the room are doomed to be crushed by the weight of it. We love y'all.
Peace. Love y'all. See y'all next week.